Right then, I think we're about ready to go then. Welcome along to another Thursday Night Live on SAFC Fan TV. Back with the lads again. With us tonight, we got the Mad Mistake. We got myself, Wee Philly. We got Dino. We got Michael Bowers, Jacob Kirkbride with us. And the return after his break, Sean Middleton's back. Woo!
Finally returned.
Pardon the myth, legend.
Off his back off his holes. Right, there's been quite a bit happening this week. First of all, now that we got Sean back on, you can ask us what's happening with the William Story thing, because haven't we got an interview lined up with him coming on?
Yeah, basically he's still in talks with the club at the moment, and there's a lot being said on Twitter. But I believe it'll be either tomorrow or Saturday when he's back up. And obviously he's looking to. He's just put a tweet out there literally a second ago saying he's hopefully going to try and conclude the deal by the end of the week. Whether or not people believe him or not, that's another matter. But yes, he's definitely doing an interview for the channel in the next couple of days.
And should that come off, I know it's on social media, people have been asking, what are you going to ask him and things like that. And I know you've got questions lined up yourself, but I do believe we will put it out on social media to the fans. Any questions you'd like answering, we can put those things to them, and Sean can give him a bit of a grilling, and then hopefully lay to rest any any doubts people have about him or whatever, and then it might give us a better insight of if he's the real deal or not. Go on, Sean.
That's all I'm going to say, mate. Obviously, I know the fans will be saying, well, what question are you going to ask him? When he phones us, what I'll discuss it with Philly, and then we'll put a tweet out to ask the supporters what they want me to ask William when I do the interview. So then it's not a case of me just being a yes man and nodding dog. I will ask the questions. I'm not just going to attack any, I will ask the questions what everybody wants to ask, and then we'll get the bottom of it.
Well, that's it. For him to gain any credibility, he has to answer awkward questions, and so we've said we will put it out to the fans on our social media channels to put your questions forward, and we'll ask the awkward questions. Well, Sean will. Us five will be hiding, but you'll ask him, won't you?
Sean puts himself on the front lines anyway, so he's used to it.
He's not afraid.
For that part, so William and I watches the show. So obviously, when you ring us when you're coming up, just obviously give us a call and we'll sort it out straight away.
Just very quickly as well, if you want to get involved, if you're watching and you want to get involved on the live chat, please do so, and we'll try and get through as many of those as we can. Nigel Dunn is already saying that Sean will get a gut feeling with William Story once he's met him, which is probably right. Right, so the rest of us, last week on Thursday Night Live, I know I, for one, said about if Juan Sartori bought the club out, I thought it would be probably the worst case scenario, because it would mean Stuart Donald would still be staying on. However, there's been a rumour in the week of Juan Sartori, John Phelan, and Dimitri, how do you pronounce his name?
Rabalov or something.
Yeah.
Rabalov.
Dimitri.
Like that. So, and all of a sudden, that sounded like a bit of a dream team. So, what do you all think? Mad Mistake?
Who?
Yeah.
Dimitri Rabalov or something.
Yeah,
Rabalov or something.
That's the one.
If it gets rid of Stuart Donald 100% away from Sunderland Association Football Club, I'm up for it. There you go. It's a short one for you.
Dino?
I didn't know, because what's Juan Sartori done since he's been here? Yeah, like he's been like just being on front of the cameras and all that stuff. But could he say anything with Stuart Donald being the biggest shareholder? So you think, is that why Once the Story hasn't done anything, because Stuart Donald makes all the decisions? So you just think, well, I'll just go back to Uruguay, and then when you need us, I'll be there. So I don't know who the other two are. I've no idea. I don't know what they're worth. Have they got experience? But if it does get rid of Donald, yes. Would I want someone else? Probably I would. If there's another option out there to get somebody else than Statori, I'll take that, because for all we know, Statori's going to be the same as Donald and not do much.
Well, John Phelan's part of the FPP. He's part of the Americans, the Dell Consortium.
All right.
So that's who he is. So you're looking at a Uruguayan, an American, and a Russian together. So whether or not they'd get on, Michael.
Okay. Well, any deal that's this is a cliched answer, but any deal that's in the best interest of SCFC should be the forefront of people's minds. And and really, I know I would have it, but as long as Stuart Donald doesn't retain any stake of shares or control when it comes to Sunderland, because Donald's come out repeatedly and said, he claims, I'll do what's right by the fans and I'll leave on the best interest of the football club. And obviously, we were talking about things off before coming on air. I won't talk about them too much, but there was things there that implied that's not the case. So Donald owes it upon himself to think, right, forget me. What's in the best interest of Sunderland? Because obviously the asking price is 37.5 million, isn't it, or just over that? And if he gets an offer anywhere near close to that, then really you should think, well, hang on, you should be accepting that because you only put in, what was it, 16 million?
16 million. If you can hang on that for a sec, Michael, because I want to come to that in a sec. Go on.
Yeah, I was just more mentioning the point that obviously whatever Donald owes it upon himself, whoever comes in and whoever's buying the club, to think of the club first and himself last. That's all I can say on that.
Jacob, what do you think? Dream team or what?
I'm still up in the air of it all, to be honest. I think us fans right now should be very careful going by the motto saying any deal will be better than Stuart Donald. I mean, that's all plain state, like, to get Stuart Donald out, but at the same time, it has to be the right deal, because it was the mistakes before when Ellis Short handed the club over to Donald where the problem started from there, and we could be going down that route again. Personally, I'm still don't really believe a word Satori says at the moment, but I really hope I'm wrong. I hope he has got these people lined up. I mean, seeing Nigel Dunn, what he's put on the chat right now, Uruguayan, American, and a Russian walk into a bar, ... I mean, that could be something to go on down those lines. Hopefully they'll get the financial deals out on the table, but yeah, right now I'm still very skeptical, to be honest. I just don't know what to believe.
I mean, it still looks on paper to me. I mean, Satori, Phelan, and I mean, AS Monaco owner. I mean, the Russian, however you pronounce it. Sean, what do you think? Dream team?
I'll be for it, but like I've been thinking about this last few days, and I'm not sure if there's actually any truth in it. I mean, I think we released the statement when it was on the radio, and Nick Barnes said it, but then he actually said that was just edited out into what he said. You know what I mean? He was just filling airtime. So I'm not sure if that's actually, I mean, best case scenario, I mean, you've got Dmitry Rabalovic and you've got Phelan. And Dmitry Rabalovic or something.
Dimitri Middleton. It's Dimitri Middleton, Sean's long-lost relative.
But, like,
we'll have to find out how the name's pronounced.
Football's about money now. We all know that. It's all about money now. So if you have them two on board, you've got plenty of money. But then you need somebody who's got the football knowledge. You know what I mean? It's all having the money, but you've got to have somebody who can make good decisions on football reasons. You know what I mean? So, but I'll be for it. Like, I mean, it's got to be better. Anything's got to be better than Donald. But like as Jacob said, you've got to be careful as well. Be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean? Because it could be, could go wrong as well. You know what I mean? But I'll be up for it. Like.
Right. Well, just quickly, I want to go to the live chat. Nigel Dunn said, "Did Sean? Thane SAFC. That's the one. Did anyone see Sean win the PGA Tour? And Dino unfortunately came second." That was in your in
I'm
your
into the
golf.
first 5 minutes of the video. I haven't actually watched the full thing yet, so I'm looking forward to binge
That was
watching
me.
the rest
That was
of it
me and
tonight.
Terry, not me and Sean. It was me and Terry, not me and
I thought,
Sean.
did I say?
You
Right,
did
well,
say so.
It was
said
I
Sean.
Dino
thought I
and
did
Terry.
say sorry. No, never mind. Anyway, Taffy Mackham says he reckons that the Mad Mistake had a spare ball in his pocket anyway. So thanks for that, Taffy Mackham. Right, what I need to do, because before we came on air, right, I've been on the phone for nearly 2 hours, just getting some information in. And it's all about the sale of the club. So what I want to do, I want to try and dissect it a bit, and I'll put it between you fellas. I want to start by trying to work out how much money Stuart Donald actually put into the club to buy the club, and it's fairly common knowledge that he originally put the 5 million of his own money in, and then there was a £9 million loan, which made his contribution sort of 14 million, and the rest was then parachute payments to buy the rest of the club. So on that basis, in putting that much money in, what would you say was a fair price then for him to accept an offer for the club? Bearing in mind, you could, give him a little bit of profit. He's been there. I know some will say, no, that's what he put in. That's what you should walk away with. Sean, I'll start with you because you like Stuart Donald.
Well, do you know what? Like, to be fair, if he puts 16.5 million, right? See if he sells the club for 30 million. I mean, I would say between 25 and 30. I would say it's a fair price. I mean, and the day he's a businessman, and he has come in and he's cut the costs and this, that, and the other. So he has done. I suppose he's done a job there. So he wants a profit. He's entitled to that. But he's obviously planned in work out. He just expected to do one season turnover, then pay for the club 40 million, whatever it was, which it wasn't when that wasn't that. Then makes 80 million, double the price. I think looking at that now, I think realistically 25 to 30 million max is the price what should be. But as we're talking about earlier on,
Well, of course, bearing in mind that he did say, he would walk away and sort of like have the club and the fans' best interest at heart, and would walk away. So you'd like to think that. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with him taking a profit, but it depends how much of a profit. Dino, what do you think? What do you think is a fair price?
Well, first of all, about him saying that he'll walk away, that's just all talk, because clearly that's not true, because he would have done it by now, if that's the case. So that's all talk. That's all. I'll do the best for the fans. He's doing the best for himself. So let's put that in perspective there. Fair price for the club. Well, he's valued it at 40, hasn't he? That's the value he wants.
Isn't it 37.6, wasn't it?
Well, it was like 40, it was like 40, 37.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny. If you can get 37 million for Sunderland, bearing in mind you've got the stadium, the academy, and all the facilities you've got, it's quite, like we've said before, it's a bargain. But to make a profit, if you can make a 10 million profit, I mean, you're set for life already. I mean, you don't need, like, I'm not being funny. If you give someone 2 million, this probably set for life. So, like, he's just being greedy. It's being greedy at this point. If you can make a 5 million, 6 million profit, you're set for life anyway. Stop, like, trying to milk it for everything you want. If you get 30 million, just sell it, man. Just sell. No one wants you here. And I mean, why are you hanging on for? I mean, you might as well just let it go. You know what I mean?
Jacob?
I'm only hoping that he's hanging on because there are plenty of buyers knocking on the door. But what's the truth in that? I mean, football owners now, they're very like tactical. They want to try and like sneak away into a deal where they get some sort of profit out of it. And I feel right now that's what Stuart Donald's doing. It's interesting because he stepped down as chairman a couple of weeks ago. I have a feeling if he wanted the best of the club's interest at heart, like he's let this drag on the last few weeks now. If he didn't want the best club interest of the club at heart, then the deal might have been done like within a few days after walking away. But that's just only hope right now. And I'm really worried. I mean, was it on the radio on Total Sport that was saying that we were looking at the back end of August, that it was very highly likely that a deal would be signed for the club to be taken over. And right now, I'm very skeptical of that. But I still do stand by 37 million is still a good asking price for this football club. Surely someone out there will want to pay that money and show ambition.
So what do you think would be a fair figure then for him to accept? Bear in mind, you know, it's common knowledge that it's 14 million of his own, well, 5 of his own £9 million loan put in. So what do you think would be, you know, do you think, you know, it's all right valuing the club at 37.5 million.
Yeah.
Right. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's worth that. It's, you know, you can value that. Is that the figure then you think he's going to be wanting?
Well, you looking at it potentially, like if an owner would have come in a couple of weeks back and potentially bought it, we're getting indications now that asking price is too high. So to be honest, now I think there is a lot of pressure on him to lower that price. And
so you're not going to give us, are you not going to give us a figure what you think might be?
I'll go for 30 million.
That'll do. Right. Mad mistake.
So we're saying 14 million is what Charlie Metfin, Stuart Donald, and Juan Sartori's put in altogether. Was there any? What's Juan Sartori put in for his 20%?
No, I think one Sartori. Go on, Sean.
Probably put 3 million for his stake.
We're talking about what Stuart Donald has actually put in. And
you're talking, if you sell the club for 37 million, some of that's got to go to Charlie Mifflin, some's got to go to Juan Sartori.
Yes. If you sold it for 37.5 million, right, then Stuart Donald would get 74% of that because that's his stake.
Yeah.
So then
three of them together put in a total of 14 million.
I think it's just Stuart Donald put in 14 million,
right,
as far as I'm aware.
So the max Stuart Donald should walk away with, and a maximum, let's face it, his balls everything up. The clubs, like Nigel's just said, it's deep. The clubs, it's going down, isn't it? Let's face it. The Academy of Light, that's gone to pot. The stadium's getting older. The facilities are getting older. It needs updating. So it's not going to be worth as much as he originally thought it was going to be worth. Maximum. I mean, if he walks away with 6 million profit after 2 years, it's one hell of a business deal, let's face it. 20 million tops, 20 million tops. Any more than that, it's daylight robbery and it's an absolute rip-off. And for me, he's not even going to sell the club unless he gets what he wants. And I bet he hasn't even sold it by the time the new season starts. There we go. Right. 20 million tops, absolute tops, mind.
Right. Well, Thane SCFC says 20 to 30 million. He's saying, Michael, what do you think?
Depreciation. That's it.
I'll give you the figure first. I think I'm agreeing with Sean. I think between 25 and 30 million is a fair asking price for a club the size of Sunderland. If you look at it from a devil's advocate perspective, we've got no parachute payment money coming in. The academy is pretty much, it's stripped bare. There's barely any academy kids in there. But bearing in mind, but going into this statement, I understand that this figure was not paid, but the principle's what I'm getting at here, so bear that in mind. 2 years ago, when Ellis Short sold the club to Stuart Donald, the quoted figure from Stuart, and you can go back to what Stuart Donald's introductory interview, he said this himself, I think. The quoted price was 40 million. Yes, you had parachute payment money coming in, but chances are most of that would have either gone to pay Ellis Short off, or, well, obviously used to purchase the club, yeah, but we had over 190 million hemorrhaging in debt. And obviously at the time, it was, if you believe what Donald Methven say, which you can't really nowadays, but if what they're saying is true, that there was not many other buyers coming in without wanting to take the debt on, so the club then owes the new owners that money. If the price is 40 million then I don't see why the price should be lower than 30 million now when we're debt-free, even though we have new parachute payments. Having said that, What I would say is, I think, and maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist here, I think part of the reason that the asking price has been so high is because 9 or 10 million of that is going to go towards repaying the FPP loan. I've got a funny feeling that's got something to do with it. So 30 million for the size of 30 million club for Sunderland should be considered a bargain. I don't care that we're in League One. I don't care what anybody tells me. That should be considered a bargain of a price for a club that, in my opinion, and I know I know you can't just judge it on size, but you'd be naive to think it doesn't play a part whatsoever. Sunderland, for me, are the biggest club outside the Premier League by a country distance, actually.
It's the potential in this. It's the potential of getting to the Premier League.
So don't get me wrong. You've got to invest the money right. You've got we are, though. Like, people can't dispute that. We are the biggest club outside the Premier League, and with that comes expectation. Sunderland have got Premier League infrastructure and facilities and stadium in League One. Now, how much should it cost you to get into the Championship? Only a couple of million. Now, it depends, obviously, if you're including cost of infrastructure of the club. If you get Sunderland in the Championship, I guarantee you that value would skyrocket because you're one league away from the Premier League. And I'm sure I saw on somewhere called transfermarket.co.uk. So this could be bollocks, I don't know. Leeds United, who were out of the Premier League for 16 seasons, were valued at 70 million quid. Why shouldn't Sunderland be valued at that if we get into the Championship?
Michael, Mad Mistake's trying to get in there.
Michael, what do you think Stuart Donald deserves as profit when he walks away? What do you think on the job he's done he deserves a profit?
Well, first of all, Terry, the question wasn't that Phil asked wasn't what do I think Stuart Donald deserves. It was what do I think the club's worth. So two different prices there, first and foremost. Secondly, but I do agree with the point you're making. Stuart Donald, in the context that he allegedly only invested about 60 million. He's got absolutely no right whatsoever to ask for 37.5 million. So to answer your question, just from Stuart Donald's perspective, probably 20 million tops. But I don't believe that's what Sunderland's valuation should be.
Right.
I know the club's worth a lot more, but I'm just saying on the job Stuart Donald's done, I don't think he deserves
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. For the context of Stuart Donald's job, 20 million, I agree with you on that point. I'm just saying as a valuation, 20 million is too low for Sunderland in general, but I do get the point you're making.
Right. Right. Let me quickly jump in then. As far as I'm aware, Stuart Donald will need to sell anyway, because if fans are not allowed back in the ground, it was stated in the press anyway that we would lose £10 million between the start of the new season and Christmas, and Stuart Donald doesn't have that sort of money to keep us afloat. Now, the whole point of what I was trying to ask you there about what you think Stuart Donald should accept. I've heard a strong rumor, and I've got good reason to believe that it's true. Now, as you know, I've defended Stuart Donald probably the most out of any views and what have you. Now, I've been told, right, that there is an offer on the table for the club. It's not the 37.5 million, but it's very close. And I'm led to believe it is around about the 35 million pound mark, right? So that is the offer, what's on the table. Now, this is what I don't like. Partly Stuart Donald has turned this offer down. Again, it might be a load of bollocks, I don't know. But
Torn's face there.
I've been talking to people over the last 2 hours, and like I said, it's a strong rumor, and I believe it to be true. So if that's the case, right, that would give Stuart Donald, right, with his 74%, bearing in mind, if he put 14 million in, right, and he took the 35 million, that would give him something like an 11 million pound profit, right, by selling the club on. Thoughts on that? If that's true and he's turned it down, it then looks like Stuart Donald is dragging his feet, either holding out for the best deal he can get, and certainly doesn't have the club or the fans' best interest at heart, by doing that. And if that's the case, I think it's shocking. And I think we should, as fans, and maybe the other fan groups and stuff like that, if this turns out to be true, I think we should be getting together and trying to do something to take some action to try and get him to do something. So let's say that's true. £35 million offer being turned down by Stuart Donald. Dino, what do you think?
Do you know what? Go to Michael first. Michael looks like he's dying to say something.
No, go on, Dino. I'll let you talk first. I want to hear what everyone else has got to
Sean,
say
have you
first.
got?
Well,
I'd like to hear what everyone else has got to say first before I talk.
that would coincide with the phone call I had obviously the other day. We talked about this before went on live. Obviously, I was on the phone to somebody. I'm not going to say his name because then, you know what I mean? But he told me that he had put a bid in for the price he's wanting, and he's still awaiting a response. So obviously what Philly just said there, the offer's being turned down for 35 million, that coincides with what I was told on the phone. So that sounds about right. So is it now the case of Stuart Donald is just trying to bide a bit of time? I don't know where the exclusivity come from. This consortium was an exclusivity talk with the club, but now is that even true? I mean, if he's turned down a £35 million offer, do you know what I mean? Which that's a very good offer. It's a very, very good offer. That is totally if he's turned that down.
I've been trying to find out who this offer is from, and well, basically I don't know, right? But I was asking the questions. I asked if it was William Story. I was told that this offer, what's been turned down, is not from William Story. However, I was also told that that doesn't mean that William Story isn't in talks with the club. Again, this is all speculation. It's rumor, if you like, but I've good reason to believe it's true, but I don't know. Jacob, £35 million offer on the table, turned down. What's your thoughts on that?
Graceful. I can, to be honest, just only hope you're wrong, Philly. I mean, looking at it, I can only predict that Stuart Donald's looked at this offer on the table, but also taken into consideration the long-term plan that these buyers have had in place for the club, and whether he's thought that's not the road that the club should be going down. We can only hope it's because of a reason like that. But at the same time, turning down a £35 million offer for even a club in the third tier of English football, and a club that's got so much potential, if an owner can come in and get it right and take us to that next level, it's just muggery. I mean, it sounds like, from what you're saying, Stu, he's just hanging on to any little bit of profit he can get out of it. I'm just shocked, shell-shocked.
Dino?
Jacob, I'm not being funny. Stuart Donald won't sell to someone because he didn't think it was right for the club. It shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. People want him out. He can't say, I'm not selling it to them because I don't believe that what they're going to do is right. For all we know, they're not telling him what they're going to do with the club. They're just going to say, all them will say, I want to buy the club off you. It's got nothing to do with Donald, what them do after that. I mean, that's a bit of an excuse on Stuart Donald's part if that's the case. But we already know that Mickey Gray's already said it's hard to get a hold of Stuart Donald. You can't get a hold of him. So Stuart Donald, as we all know, Mickey Gray said he's hard to deal with. You can't get in touch with him. You got to get in touch with his manager or his agent or whatever. I mean, I'm in the same boat as Terry. I don't think he'll sell it. I think this is just all a big game to get the start of the season and then say, oh, I can't sell it just in case we do go up. Do you know what I mean? So it's all a con to say, right, I'm going to sell the club, wait at the start of the season, and then say, oh, all the deals are off. And then at the end of the season, if we go up, he says, right, I can sell the club then. I don't know. Stuart Donald just not making much sense at the minute. He's saying so much and not doing anything.
Well, if it's if this is true, if that offer has been put on the table and it's been turned down, then what you say and what the Mad Mistake says makes a lot of sense. That is he not going to sell the club? The only thing what sort of contradicts that is the fact that if he doesn't sell the club and fans are not allowed into the ground and the revenue is not there, can he actually afford to lose £10 million between now and Christmas? Anyway, Michael, deep in thought.
I'm
all just stunned.
The only remote way that is justifiable is for the reason that Jacob said, that if it really is someone who has got the money, but we don't know what their plans are. And I get what Dino said, but for me, I don't know. That is the only way I can defend turning down 35 million.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, again, in the context of what money he put into the club, what fucking right has he got to turn 35 million down, which chances are might be the closest deal that he is going to get this club off his hands. He asked for 37.6 million for some bizarre reason, even though he's took 20 million pound out of the club in parachute payments, by the way, and now he's got the cheek to turn down 35 million. Unless you've got actual proof that this buyer is dodgy as anything, then I'm fuming beyond belief at him. It's absolutely ridiculous. He claims he's got you claim, Stuart Donald, if you're watching this, you claim you got the best interest of the club at heart. Fuck you. Fuck you. If you think you've got
Michael.
Sunday. I don't care.
We like to apologise for Michael's language from all of us on the channel.
He deserves it. He deserves every bit of scrutiny and abuse. And I'm going to condone this. He deserves every bit of abuse he gets if he's had the audacity to turn a bid like that down. So if you want to got the best interest of the club, fuck off, get out, and get a good deal for the club that will take us forward, you prick.
Right, just hang on, Michael, before we go to the mad mistake. On the chat here, Liam SAFC says it's FPP. I don't know who it is. He's also asking me who the sources are. Now, I'll tell you, I'll hold my hands up. I've asked the questions, right? Where's it coming from and what have you? And I don't know. This is why what I'm saying, it's a rumor I've heard. However, I've got no reason to disbelieve what I'm being told. There's certain things I just can't say. I'm honestly, hands up. I don't know the sources.
Well, if you did know the sources, you couldn't say anyway, because then that'll knock your source.
Well, I could. Let's put it like this. I don't know the sources firsthand, and again, and I've asked lots of questions, right, before we came on. I had lots of questions, and I didn't get answers. And fair play, I understand where the person I've been speaking to is coming from, right. And I also understand that by saying this, people are going to say you're full of shit or whatever. It's a lot of fair dues. All I'm doing is relaying what I've been told and what I believe to be true, right, over on the channel. That's the only verification I can give to the information that I'm getting. Mad mistake.
Well, if it's true, allegedly, it is ridiculous. I agree with what Michael says 100%, but I don't know. I don't know how anybody can believe that for 1 second that any part of Stuart Donald cares about Sunderland. I don't understand why any Sunderland fan out there would even believe that he is even interested in what happens to the future of Sunderland Association Football Club. I don't think he gives a shit. I really don't. He's an Eastleigh, Oxford bloke. Charlie Metford's had his reasons. They said what he said about the North East football fans. They don't give a shit about Sunderland at all. All he's interested in profit and the final profit, the bigger picture at the end of the day. If Sunderland go to the Premier League, he's still got 10% shares or 20% shares. He'll get a bigger slice of the pie. I don't say he's going to sell this club unless he keeps some shares, unless he gets that up. Even if the full asking price. What happens if he turns the full asking price down? Is he just going to say, oh, he hasn't got a long-term plan for Sunderland? But absolute bollocks. We're never going to know this long-term plan. He's going to keep it under his hat and just say there was no long-term plan. We've got to believe a bloke who was unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff.
Dino?
If anything, Stuart Donald needs to look at what happened to Ellis Short. Ellis Short made a loss of a massive amount of money. like you say, he wiped off 190 million or whatever it was. Imagine all the losses he made on players. I mean, Ellis Short didn't make a profit at all. We all know that he made no profit at all, lost a lot of money, but luckily he's a billionaire, so it doesn't really matter. With Stuart Donald, not even really, he's only a millionaire and he's not even worth that much anyway. He wants to get the money at the highest he possibly can right now. So if that 35 million's on the table, take it now, because down the line he might not even get that offer again, and it'll be lower and lower and lower, and it'll take all his profits he's ever had, and he could go broke with it. So what he needs to do is learn from what Ellis Short did. Don't hold on too long. Get the money and fuck off. It's as simple as that. And then right off to into the sunset with your 30, 40 million, whatever you want, and don't look back. Simple as that.
Right. On the live chat, Ethan or SCFC 15 says he doesn't believe rumours. He'll only believe BBC Newcastle or if there's an official announcement. You know, I'm not trying to say, you know, I can tell you, right? However, right, there are some angry people out there. And, and I've been contacted. And
definitely,
if this is true, right, that this offer has been put on the table and it's been refused, right, you can fully understand the anger of these people and wanting to sort of get it out there. So, you know, I'm not saying, you know, I can categorically say this is fact. I don't know. I'm just relaying the news I've heard to you lot out there to then decipher what you think. Mad Mistake?
Does anybody know if Donald has actually spent any of the 10 million, the loan of FPP? And most of it was going to go on the upkeep of the academy and the stadium, because apparently it was dropping to bits. I haven't seen any work going at all when I've been at the stadium of light. Has anybody seen any work going on at the academy of light? Does anybody know if any of that money's been spent?
I'm not aware. I'm not aware of it. I mean, I do believe. See, when he got the loan off FPP, and everybody was saying, "Oh, you know, we should be buying new players and stuff like that." You know, fair play. It was always said from the start that that money was to go on improvements with the academy and the stadium and things like that. Mad Mistake?
And surely, if you were going to put money into the stadium of light, you would do it now before the season starts. And I went around there the other day, it was like a ghost town. There was weeds growing everywhere. It was just dropping the bit. There's been no money spent on the stadium of light.
It's like one of my gigs.
Just tumbleweed blowing across.
All right, Jacob. I can say it. You can't.
Sorry, I'm joking.
It's just for me. When I've been talking to these people, honestly, I've been livid. I really have. And you know, I take some winning over a lot of, you know, because like I say, I've been the one who's probably defended him most and what have you. But and like I say, I can only say it's a rumor, but I've no reason to disbelieve it. So if that's the case and that turns out to be true, then I do think that something should be done. And whether we do that, I think we do that as a channel ourselves on SAFC Fan TV. You know, we can team up with the other fan channels and fan groups. And I think something needs to be done if that's the case, because otherwise we're going to get into the season and we're going to be in exactly the same boat. And it'd be worrying if we are going to lose 10 million between now and Christmas. So that's the info I've received. If I get any more, and I know any more, I'll certainly tell you lads off air. But I can't verify it. Michael.
Right. Just obviously for what Phil said, spot on. I think as fans, even if this isn't true, we need to band together here. If this isn't resolved in the next couple of weeks, like we've been told it should be, or at least a strong enough chance it should be. I'll refer to when the Newcastle takeover fell through. If you all know, Amanda Staveley was basically like one of the heads of the potential Saudi takeover deal that obviously collapsed. She then apparently posted out in an interview with George Corkin on The Athletic. I haven't read it, but I've just been listening to a few Newcastle podcasts. And one of the things they said was Amanda Staveley had said, the next move is on the fans. The next move's on the fans to demand answers from the Premier League. Now, I'm not saying we should get a petition because obviously it's a completely different scenario. But I think the next move, if this is true, is on the fans to say enough is enough. We've, and bearing in mind, Stuart Doll and Chai Methvin, if they dare go on about abuse, the bollocks. If they go on about that, they've conveniently forgotten the near cult hero status they had in the first year of running this football club. But clearly they don't give a shit about that, because if they did, then they would have kept up. They would have at least, they would have tried to have the best interests of the club at heart. So fuck this idea that we're uneducated in business. Fuck this idea that it's our fault that this is on its knees. Fuck off. And I know I'm swearing a lot. I'm sorry, but
Michael, someone get the beep machine out.
Michael, you're going to have to be. You're going to have to be in church. You're going to have to be in church a very long time on Sunday.
The next stage of it is for the fans. We demand answers. This club shouldn't be languishing in League One. We've deserved to be here, but it doesn't mean, in the grand scheme of things, the fans don't deserve to have a club in League One. These owners are holding us back. They're holding us back from any offers that could potentially take us forward. They've got to be held accountable for their own stupidity, their own incompetence, and their own wrong decisions. So I think we need to get together and actually say, no, if you get a half decent offer close to what you say, sell it. Sell it. If you're holding out just for an extra 2.5 million, then that says a lot about you as an individual. There you go. Well, sorry, Jacob.
Jacob, just before you come in, Clayton Lumsden on the chat says he reckons that Stuart Donald would turn 50 million down, which then ties in, if you like, to what Dino and the Mad Mistake have been saying, that he doesn't think he wants to sell. Jacob.
Question to all you guys: if what Philly's saying is true and this offer has been turned down, when it comes to the point of fans being allowed back into the Stadium of Light, how many fans are really going to turn up? Because all the money at this rate is going to go most likely to, obviously, the best way to get a owner out of a football club, I feel, is basically you just stop going to the ground at all, generate, because that just at the same time just gives the owner more profit, basically. And I just feel it'll be interesting to see what the fans' view on that is, basically, because we do need atmosphere back in the stadium, personally, because a lot of fans miss it. But at the same time, where's that money going to go?
Dino?
See, the worst thing is, obviously the money goes to the club, but people don't will turn up to the game because they're not supporting Donald, they're supporting the team. So it's like a catch-22, really.
Obviously, I'm going to go, but it'll be interesting to see if what's Philly saying is true, how many fans will turn up at all.
Yeah, but some people will be scared of the coronavirus still, so people won't leave the house. People aren't leaving the house now. But people want to go and support the team, but not support Stuart Donald. So it's like, what do you do? I mean, after, like you say, the season ticket sales are being right down, obviously with the coronavirus. But will people renew? Probably not. Like get a half season ticket, probably not until they're gone. But people do want to go and support the team. Some people can't live without going to the match on a weekend, and that's a fact. People will not go. They'll go no matter what. It doesn't matter who's in charge. So it is going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting, but it's one of them. It is.
Yeah. Right. There are a couple of more points I want to bring up. But Sean, have you been putting out on social media for some questions?
Yeah, I've got some questions. I mean, just four lads. If you can just get through them quick, because we're struggling for time now. But basically, this is off Stuart Helens off Twitter. Who do you think would be the captain, and who do you want to be the captain? Dino?
I'd happily take it off Max Power, because I just don't get us wrong, he's a good captain, but he's not a good player in my opinion. I would give it a Bailey Wright, possibly Bailey Wright, because everyone's watched him. We all say he's a leader, he's an organizer, and I just think he was the captain of Bristol City, wasn't he? So he's got the experience there, and I think definitely him. But who would vice captain? Have we got many vice captains? probably Willis. Maybe Willis is a vice captain.
Oh, yeah, Jordan Willis. Right, my mistake.
And I think Max Power is a good player, just not necessarily a good player as a captain. And I will give it to Bailey Wright, 100%.
Jacob.
Chris Maguire for me. I think every time I watch him, he's so vocal with the players. He wears his heart on his sleeve, cares about the club massively. And I do get the fans' point about wanting Bailey Wright as captain, but Maguire's been there longer. I think he just understands it a little bit more. And he's got, great qualities as a footballer for this league as well. So I'll give it to Chris Maguire.
Good point, Jacob. Wait, Philippe.
In 2 words, Bailey Wright. I think we all more or less agreed on that. I think he would make a superb captain for me. Bailey Wright.
Michael.
Very quickly, the Sean Middleton fans Twitter page asked me to give him a shout out on stream, so there's your shout out. Secondly, for the captain, obviously we all know I disagree with Sean Dion Max Powell, but that's by the by. Captain Bailey Wright, vice captain Jordan Willis. I'm pretty sure Willis was Coventry's captain before we got him. Why has that not been done before now? I don't know.
Quickly, I would say don't have to be the captain. I think your captain's got to be the leader. And for me, Max Power, he gets missing far too much in games. So I would Bailey Wright or Jordan Willis, one of them two. Right. Next questions of Johnny Pierce. Just basically a quick one, lads. When do you think the away days will be back to normal? Terry, by mistake?
Before I answer that, I've got one quick question as well for later on. I don't think the away days will be any time before Christmas.
Jacob?
I think back end of November, early December at the earliest we're looking at that. I mean, I know they're letting, is it below the conference at the moment? Potentially, yeah.
I think 12% of the ground, they're going to try and get 12%. And
yeah, they're starting with that and then working up the divisions, aren't they?
Dino?
I don't think this year, for the simple fact, how you're going to have to work the buses different with this meter rule and stuff. So you're going to have more buses on, less people on buses and stuff like that. So I don't think there'll be any time this year.
Can I jump in with that though, Dino? You're on about buses, but what about aeroplanes? You know, I mean, you spend, you can spend 3-4 hours on an aeroplane altogether with a mask on. So why should it be any different on a bus?
I don't know.
Dino, I'm not having a go.
Sounds like you are.
No, Dino, I'm not. I'm just trying to right. Me personally, I think it'll be sooner than you think, because I think if they allow fans back in social distancing, I think at that point they will allow away fans to come and they will sit them social distance as well. So I think it could be as soon as possible October.
Right, Michael?
I think it'll probably be 2021 before we see it again, because I think even though you could argue that we could do the social distancing thing, I just think if you're prioritising getting home, you've got to get the home crowd sorted first and foremost, and then bring away fans into the fold. So for me, I hope it's sooner. But then again, I kind of want to boycott half the away games of the teams that voted for the salary cap. So I don't know. I'll be a muppet and contradict myself, but 2021.
Mama still wants to say something.
I don't think away fans should be allowed to go to any match at all this season. And like what Michael says there, them teams that voted for the salary cap don't deserve our fans at their ground.
Can I just say, I'm wanting to get back to work, and without the away fans coming in the week's chief, I'm not going to have anybody in. So where, man? I'm living on bread and water. Thanks.
You have thousands of nobody's there, right? Yeah.
And live streams. Hopefully live streams, but I don't know whether the legal things will be knocking about with that. I don't know.
I thought you meant live stream Wee Philly shows there, like.
Oh, there. Hey, money. Oh, good idea.
I want credit for that.
Right, just very quickly. Chris Scott says Stuart Donald doesn't want to sell, then there's nothing we can do. Which,
Absolutely.
but Sean, can we just go to Terry then with Terry's question before, because there's a couple of things I want to try and get in before the end. Terry?
Question from Stephen Hensel. He says how Mackham FC has started supporting Liverpool now, so he supports Liverpool and Sunderland. Are you a true supporter if you support two teams? Or can you only support one team? And should you only support one team?
Good question.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go.
Right, well, my team's Sunderland and always will be, but I was born in Wigan, so I do like to see how Wigan do, but I wouldn't class myself as a Wigan fan. So there you go. I like to see how Wigan do, right? But Sunderland are my club, and I think I don't think you can support two clubs. I mean, I know Jacob's an Arsenal fan and a Sunderland fan, so. But
I don't know where this has come from. Just because I live near them, but no, I bought Sunderland supporter till I die. It was done when I had
you
a
love
brick.
Arsenal.
No, I don't. I had a brick. I've got a brick on the stadium of light, panel 17, top row. That was done before I was born. I knew instantly then when I was told that was done, I'm going to be a Sunderland supporter till I die. Love this club, runs through the family, thick and thin. We are.
So can you support two teams or only one?
Well, I'm going by what obviously I do look, because Arsenal was my local team. I do look at the results and see how they're doing.
What about your Arsenal tattoo? Show us your Arsenal tattoo.
Do I have an Arsenal tattoo?
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. No. No. Show us your Wigan one.
It's on me bum, so I can't.
Oh no. Oh,
the disappointment.
Well, see, I'm from South Shields, and like obviously Sunderland's my club. But South Shields is my second club. I mean, when they went to Wembley, I went to go and support them. I mean, all the Sunderland games, but if I ever do get a chance, I'll always check in on South Shields. I mean, I think you can support a team who's lower than you because them need supporters to financially grow. Like a team like Liverpool doesn't really depend on like people like, well, they've got fans all the way around the world, haven't they? I mean,
yeah.
Maybe for Mackham FC, it's just like the going places, the winning things. So is that a Glory supporter? Maybe. But see, I'm like Shields, so I like to see Shields do well because they've came from nothing and now they're going up the leagues, and Sunderland played them in a friendly. I mean, that's ideal for someone like me, Shields and Sunderland. So I'm like supporting both teams in a way. I really want to go to that game as well.
Oh, Dino!
What?
Two teams. What? Oh,
well, we know a lot of.
No.
We know. I know people who support. Well, Michael does. One of Michael's friends supports Sunderland and supports. Is it Rangers?
Grimsby.
Rangers. Yeah.
Rangers. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Basically. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you can. Of course, you can. Yeah, you can support two teams.
Well,
support three teams if you want. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you've got more clubs than Tiger Woods.
You've used that joke before, Billy.
Tiger Woods.
Go on, Sean.
My first ever script my mum bought me when I was a young lad was the Liverpool script. My nan lived down in Liverpool. Obviously she's passed away now, God rest her soul. So I have got a soft spot for Liverpool, and like to see, I mean, the history that they've got. One of my best pals, Alan Thompson, he supports them. But I'm Sunderland through and through. But I do like to see Liverpool do well. But obviously, Sunderland's me only team. That's it, really. So I think you can have two teams, I suppose. But you've always going to have one love. You know what I mean? That's Sunderland there till I die.
My one love's my wife.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh God!
Because she'll be in. She'll be in. Otherwise, she's listening in.
Tattoo.
So what are we starting a chant of there's only one Karen's only one Karen FC by far the greatest thing the world has ever seen. For me, I when I got into football, which was in 2010, 2011, which everyone knows, I haven't been into it that long. It was when Blackpool were in the Premier League, and the hype and even though they got relegated, the hype and hysteria, the way Blackpool approached the Premier League, the breath of fresh air they were, that was partly what got me to fall in love with football. So I would say that I follow Blackpool as a kind of a second team. So hey, if I've picked a second team, I haven't exactly glory hunted, have I? I've picked someone who's not exactly doing well until now, doing worse than Sunderland. Watch them finish above us now. To me, the whole concept of following, I think you can support only one team, be like a real diehard supporter of one team, but you can follow more than one team. I think that's the best way I would put it.
Yeah. Trust you to make sense out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Did everybody have a say on that then? Because we've literally got 4 or 5 minutes left. So I wanted to mention the Lewis Morgan interview. We maybe have to do that next week now because of all what happened with these alleged rumors coming through. Also, I want to mention that the fixtures are out tomorrow. And I believe Jacob and Michael, you're going to do a feature on that for the channel tomorrow.
we
So
will.
when
Can't wait.
they come
Yeah,
out, so
tomorrow. Can't wait to do it.
so look out for that.
Can I say something? Who do you think is going to be the first game this season? It can be anyone. It doesn't have to be home or away. What team do you think, and see who gets it right next week?
Me, I think it'll be Gateshead Saturday.
No, shut up, man.
I win. Give me the money.
I think it's 100% at home. 100% at home match because Newcastle
I
are
think
away.
we'll get away.
I was going to say, yeah, Newcastle are away to West Ham on the 12th of September. The Premier League fixtures just came out today, so it's going to be at home because obviously when fans are allowed back in, it's going to be home away, home away. I think I'm just got a funny feeling it's going to be Sunderland v MK Dons. I think that's going to be the first game of the season. Don't know why, just think so.
Philly, write these down. Write these down for next week.
Right, MK Dons at home. There's my prediction.
Fleetwood, are we?
Oh, for God's sake.
Doesn't matter home or away. Just what team do you think?
I think Charlton.
Hang on then. Hang on. Sean, what did you say?
Fleetwood.
Fleetwood. Jacob.
Charlton.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
That'd be fitting, wouldn't it?
I just want to beat Lee Bowyer so badly now. I hate him. So
Mad mistake.
The next time we'll see Stuart Donald at the Stadium Night, the first home game of the season against
I'm
Oxford when he's
hoping
supporting Oxford.
Right, we'll better back Oxford then.
I think Portsmouth.
get a tough team to get it out of
Bumpy.
the way.
I think it's just. I guess every year and I get it wrong. I'm going to go for Swindon.
Okay.
Oh,
Put
do I
in
have
the
to say
chat.
home away? Right.
Put in the chat who you think's going to get first game of the season, and we'll see who's right. Maybe
Right.
see who gets it right.
Chat or the
Right.
comments. Put it either one.
Right. The thing I quickly want to finish on then is once again, Sky Bet have made us favourites to win the league at 13-2.
getting that from?
Dino wasn't happy there.
Where are they getting that from?
It's as simple as this, right? And we've got just over
All
a
we
minute
can say
left.
is thanks.
Right. Sunderland are going to win the league. Yes or no? Sean?
No. Sorry.
Jacob?
Sorry.
No, sorry.
No.
Dino? Mad mistake?
If Max Power is not the captain,
Oh, just yes
Oh,
or no, man!
yes. My
if
God.
Max Power is still the captain, we will win the league. If he's not the captain, we will win the league.
Yeah,
Right,
Terry,
Michael, are we going to win the league? Yes or no?
No, but I just want promotion. I don't give a hell, home monkeys, how we
It's
do
yes
it.
or no? Are we going to win the league?
I
Are we
told
good?
you, I said
To the
very slow
chase.
if you listened. I said, no,
Say-
we're not going to win the
No.
league, but just go up, please. I hate this league.
Right, I'll tell you now. We're
Get
going to win the
promoted.
league and we'll be
By
up
Easter,
by...
we're going to win it
No,
by Easter.
Oh, by Easter!
the jinx.
Right.
Down
Right.
by Easter. We're going to be down by Easter.
Terry, now that thing you said there about Max Power, I actually put a tweet up and he liked it. He liked two of my tweets. I said, if Max Power is in the team, the starting level, we won't get promoted. And he liked this.
Here's one. Get Max Power.
serious?
Max Power
And then he
Steve
blocks
Will
you.
Brigg. Get
And
Max Power
then he
Steve
blocked
Will
you.
Brigg. Hey,
Man,
come
Sean,
on,
every
Sean,
stage you're improved for
Sean.
next season.
I would
Enjoy,
still-
ignore the rest of them.
Mad mistake, quickly.
I would 100% still play Max Power, but just not as captain.
Hey, get in, lad.
Right. That really does just about wraps it up for another Thursday night. Great to see the team back together again. All right, it's been a good one tonight. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. It's free to do so. We will try our best to keep you updated with anything that we hear during the week. Through our social media platforms, we should do that. And we'll be back again, doing it all over again next Thursday for you. So from myself, Wee Philly, from Sean Middleton, Jacob Kirkbride, Dino, The Mad Mistake, and Michael Bowers, we'll see you all next week. See ya. Woohoo!
Bye,
How are the
Stuart
lads?
Donald. Bye, Stuart Donald. Get lost.
Donald House.